Sup guys, Zanderson 977 here today to do Hunter x Hunter 2011 episode 136 review. And I know that this video is a bit late, but you know they're saying better late than never. So let's start off with the review for this week's episode of Hunter x Hunter. Well, it's already declared that the battle between the Chimera ants and the humans are finally over with Miriam's death. So in this episode, the scene that we get taken to almost immediately after beginning is this scene where Bravada and Welfin, they're saying their goodbyes, they're talking to each other, and that human girl in the vehicle, I think her name is Hina-chan. Hina-chan and Bizif are in the truck waiting for Welfin to say goodbye to Bravada, and Bravada is there talking with Welfin, and off in the corner we see this cute little looking Chimera ant looking girl off in the corner, and Bravada is saying that just by looking at her in the same way that he can look at in the same way that he can look at Welfin and know that he remembers his past, he looks at this girl that's revealed to be Reina-chan, looks at her and realizes that she remembers her past. So, you know, after Hina was bothering him for a bit, keep on, you know, she was constantly telling him to come on, hurry up, let's go, or I'm going to leave you behind, you know, that sort of stuff. Finally said goodbye, and he said that he's going to head off towards Meteor City to look for Gyro. So from there, the scene changes to Bizef, Welfin, and Hina driving in the car together to go to Meteor City to look for Gyro. And after that scene is finished, then the scene switches back to Bravada and girl Reina-chan, and it's revealed that that girl Reina, the reason why she wasn't talking was because she's not that she necessarily couldn't talk, but it wasn't necessarily that because she won't talk, it was just that she couldn't necessarily talk, you know, fluently like that because she's a little girl, probably she was a little girl before the Chimera ants attacked and killed her and other people. So she remembers her past. She comes up to the village looking shyly behind a tree because she knows that that's where she grew up, but she fully recognizes now that she looks different. She knows that now she's a Chimera ant. So she was apprehensive of how the people would accept her, if they would willingly accept her for who she is, or if they would reprimand her and be afraid of her because of her looks and not realize that she really is one of them, regardless of her looks. So Bravada realized that she was shy at first and told her that, look here, you know, there's nothing to be afraid, I'm here for you, I'll help you with this. And they walked up to the villagers, and upon walking up to the villagers, you know, ran out and screamed and freaked out. They're saying like, monsters, oh Bakamuno, monsters everywhere. But then when Bravado started to talk to them, and he started to say that he's willing to talk and negotiate, he's not looking for any trouble, then they begin to come out one by one. And then the next scene after that is we see this lady in her, you know, dark room where she's remembering her two kids that she had at one point, and the scene flashes to where there's this big crab looking Chimera ant attacking two children, and then, you know, it's strongly hinted that that's the memory that she got from the last moments of their lives. So she lost her children and she's in grief. And then all of a sudden this door behind her opens and she looks behind her, and then we see Reina standing up there, but you know, because she's shy and she knows that she looks different, she's not sure if her mother recognizes her for who she is. So she stands and then she hides behind the door, cowering, being shy. And then the mother instantly recognizes that, Reina-chan, is that you? And then she's crying and saying that, how did you know? So that scene was a very touching scene, very emotional scene. I can say that I liked it pretty well. I like the fact that the mother and daughter got reunited. What happened to her older brother, it's not exactly stated as yet, but they got reunited, and Bravado was off in a corner watching everything go down, making sure that she got returned to her mother and everything was okay. One of the villagers saw him looking on and asked him to join their village so that he could live with them, and he says no, that's okay. So he's walking through the forest, being vexed and upset of why the octopus guy, I forgot his name, so of why he didn't kill him. He should have just killed him and gotten it over with. And then he's off at this cliff, and all of a sudden he gets a tug on his hand, and behind him is Reina Chan, and she tells him thank you, and she says, let's go eat together, let's go back together so that we can live together. So right there, Bravada and Reina decide to, well, Reina Chan returned to her mother, returned to her family dwelling, so she returns to her home, but then Bravado decides to stay there and live with them for the time being at least. And then the scene switches back over to Gon and his condition. Remember that we haven't seen Gon for quite a while. Well, before it switches over to Gon and his condition, um that guy that has the pipes, I forgot his name. That guy that has the big pipe that he fought with Poof, he's talking on the phone with this camera ant, and then this camera ant is keep on saying that Reina Chan is not. She's saying some weird stuff. She's saying that her name isn't even Reina Chan. She's saying that her name is Kaito, and then right there, his eyes light up and he realizes that whoa, the same way how it's possible that for the humans that were abducted and were killed, how it's possible that they still regain their memories. It seems that when Kaito was killed, he his spirit or his essence came into this new camera and body, and so he at least remembers his identity of his real name being Kite at least. Well, he's not necessarily even a he anymore, he's a she. So that's an interesting turn of events. So Kite isn't quote unquote completely out of the story yet. He still resides in the body of this camera ant girl. So the guy who is talking on the phone, who has the big pipe, who uses it to attack, he runs off to head for Gun to find so that he can tell him about him. And then we come up to the scene of where we get to know of Gun's condition. We realize that he is in serious condition, and the doctor is startled that how can this happen to a 12-year-old boy overnight, so much damage, he's never seen it before. And then one of the other members, the guy with the glasses in the black suit, I'm not good at remembering names very much. The guy with the glasses in a black suit, he decides that okay, he's going to get some specialists to come to the hospital of where Gun is so that they can save him. He says that Gun is a hero that deserves special treatment, and I believe that is very true. Gun has done a lot for their party in defeating Pito. Even though it cost them a lot, he really did a lot to help them in defeating the camera ants overall by defeating Pito. So then it switches back to Killua, and Killua is there. He's worried about Gun, his friend, his real only friend, and at the same time he's hurt that Gun didn't necessarily involve him like he was expecting Gun to involve him into it. And he says it himself that he realizes that Kite is that type. Kite saved him when he was younger, and it seemed more like a personal squabble for Gun than to really knowingly forget Killua and knowingly wanting to leave Killua out of it. He realized that Gun, his anger probably got to him more than he would have liked, and one thing led to the next, and he just wanted to get his revenge against Pito. So he realizes Gun's mistake, and he says that okay Gun, I'm going to save you, I'm going to do whatever it takes, but I'm going to save you. And then finally, the last scene in this episode is when we see the tape of Chairman Nettero's message saying that he resigns from the Hunter Association, and that that's because of his resignation there should be another election of a new chairman, and every hunter must or should participate. If there's less than 95% participation, then the results will be invalid. And they talk about the Zodiacs are the ones who are in charge of the Hunter Association, like they are the very top, and they're the one who will oversee this whole procedure. And the very most interesting scene in this episode is when, you know, they begin to show a kind of backdrop of the of the Zodiacs, you know, this group of hunters, I'm presuming. And then upon showing them, we see this guy walking up, you know, and this guy, by the looks of it, is hinted to be Jin Freak's Gun's own father. So, you know, that's a very interesting thought. So Gun's father is a part of the Zodiac 12. Very interesting, you know. But, you know, at the same time, not too surprised because he's Gun's father. I mean, just look at how devastating Gun is. Imagine his own father. You know, no wonder he's a part of that Zodiac 12. But overall, I like this episode pretty much. The whole fighting between the camera ants and the humans are officially over, as Jay said, and now we are going to be going along into this hunter election to determine the new chairman of the Hunter Association. So, you know, things should be pretty interesting. It's not going to be action packed with fighting as well it's been for the past couple episodes, but nonetheless it should be interesting. So I thought it was a great episode of Hunter x Hunter, and that's it. That's my review. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe,